My name is Jeff Mishosha. I'm one of the sales associates at Gym Source of White Plains in New York. We're here to discuss today the TuffStuff SXT 550 gym. So typically this is a universal gym, but it also incorporates some functional training aspects that TuffStuff, as one of the oldest strength manufacturers, realizes that people are leaning towards these days with all of the functional training going on. The new emphasis on the ability of functional movements and not so much just explosive Olympic lifts. This machine offers a lot of versatility based on TuffStuff's very successful six-pack trainer. As one of their top 2 selling units as a company, the six-pack trainer incorporates a high, a mid, and a low pulley system. So they've incorporated that here along with the old school structure on that with the universal gym that so many people know and love. This is good for families, it's good for athletes, it's good for people that are just getting into fitness that need some guidance. This is not one of those machines where you're going to step on and be intimidated. With a little bit of demonstration, it's very easy to use and very comprehensive in what it offers. So typically, I would start off with the chest press, is something everyone's familiar with. So I'll hop on here quickly just to demo what that looks like on the SXT. So you can hop in here and adjust this press arm and seat accordingly. Right here, I'm pretty natural. So I'll go in here, just the normal chest press on a fixed bar. So again, this is sort of that universal old school feeling and design that so many people are used to on this machine. You notice it's very smooth. There's not a lot of movement in the arm. It's a very stable piece. So that offers you that traditional movement. Now, the incorporation of the cables here is what makes this machine so unique. So I can come back here, grab my cables, do the same movement, but instead of being on that fixed plane, I can press in any direction or angle that I want to. So I can go from a flat to an incline to a decline press all in one, and then even right into a fly if I want to do a superset. So the versatility that this offers is tremendous. Next, we can go into the equivalent of a chin-up, which I can do from the same seated position. So we can come from the top here and do more of an isolated bicep pull as well as a rhomboid. Then I can even come down and do a lat pull down from this position, which I'll also demo facing the opposite way. But from this position here, one of the other cool things about this is instead of having to worry about what you're going to do like a traditional squat or deadlift, or targeting your lower body instead of just your upper body, which a lot of people make the mistake of doing, you can do all this from the seated position on this machine. So what we'll do here is pull this out. I'm going to pull this seat back forward to get my stabilization that I need. Make sure this is adjusted for me here and locked in. So what I'll do is pull this up, lock my legs in for a leg extension to target my quads here. So we're going to step in here and just simply extend right up. So this piece is keeping the leverage down on my shins to get a solid repetition here. And depending on your length of your legs or your limbs, you can adjust the seat forward or back to target in the exact spot you want to be. So there is my quadricep extension. Now on the reverse side, we can flip this nifty lever here, pull it back, and lock in here. So what you're going to do at this position is called a leg curl. So I can pull this piece up to let myself lock in, tuck in underneath, and then flip this however I want to again keep that leverage base there. So now I can do a full curl, which is going to target hamstrings and gluteal muscles to get that back part of the leg, all of which you can do from the seated position. On some universal gyms, you'll have to stand in front of the machine and do one leg at a time, but the SXT offers you the ability to do that all from the seated position, which is fantastic. So we can adjust that back down to get it out of the way. And now what I'll do is demonstrate the back portion of this machine. So there's several positions here as far as how you can adjust this press arm. We're going to put it in the farthest back position. So what we'll do here, again, is demo sort of a typical workout that everyone knows for back is a traditional seated row. So I can pull this seat out to give myself the support I need, press my feet up against the machine or put them down, and do my traditional lat row, which you can also, depending on how you want to grip this, if you want to go high, you can do more of a rear delt or shoulder upper back row from here. Now, you're obviously going to want to adjust the weight a little bit on this depending on what your fitness level is, but for demonstration purposes, we'll stay at 40 pounds for all of the movements. Now from here, we can go back into the chin-up position I was saying before to do that rhomboid and bicep, mid back and bicep. Now I can go right into a lat pull down, target the lat muscles. Coming right here, again, nice and smooth. Notice the machine isn't really moving much. The structure is very sound on this. They also give you steel plates here that don't make as much noise. That's a big upgrade. A lot of old machines would give you a cast iron, and that's just a cheaper way to go. So this is a nice upgrade from TuffStuff. The other thing to notice on this, 200-pound weight stack. A lot of other companies will give you a standard 150 pounds, but TuffStuff gives you that with the regular retail price on this machine, no extra fee, which is fantastic. So no matter what your fitness level is, you can work up to that weight level, and I can tell you from someone that's been strength training for 7 years that 200 pounds is plenty for most people with home fitness. Now, some of the other things with the cables here. Some people might say, you know what, I like the traditional bar lat pull down. So TuffStuff actually makes a bracket that you can attach to these two pulleys, put a long bar on, and do your traditional lat pull. So that's a simple fix. Clients can order that way to get that traditional bar pull if it's something they want to do. Next, I would say, as far as you'll say shoulders, what we can do for that, TuffStuff provides a tilt on this seat. So you can pull this forward to put your body into a forward position and isolate your delts on a shoulder press. So we'll demo that now by throwing this press arm forward, get into a front position. I'm going to pull this seat back a touch so I have the range of motion that I need. So we'll go in that same press position here, upright, and notice my spine angle is a little bit forward, but I have full stabilization all the way down my back, which is perfect. You're not sacrificing your lumbar area at all. And this whole time you're just doing a deltoid military equivalent press. The next way to do that is to go into your cables. So I can pull this back out of the way, sit down, tilt my seat back up, wherever I need to be, go to my low pulley, bring these right up, and you have a seated military press. And again, you can kind of adjust the angle here depending on where you want to be. A little bit forward, more straight up. If you have any rotator issues, you can come a little bit at an angle there. So the next thing you can do, back to the supersetting aspect of this, you can go right into a bicep curl. If you're doing an upper body movement, you want to go into arms. That's right there. If you want to stand away from the machine, this gives you plenty of cable travel. So if I want to isolate one side, say I'm rehabbing one lat, for instance, I can stand away from the machine, do a lat pull here, and do one arm at a time. And then over here, you know, the leg press is one thing that's sort of the biggest essential movement of what that mimics is a squat. So you're not physically doing the weight-bearing, more hazardous squat movement, but on here you're targeting all the same muscles, and if I were to pick one movement that's essential to fitness, it's the squat. It's the absolute most functional piece with this gym that's optional. If you don't have the space or if you want to keep your budget down, this is optional. You can add it at any time. So this is your most functional movement for whether it's explosive power or if you just want to develop some glute strength, some hamstring, some quad, whatever it is, calves. You can do that here from this position with the safety of the back support and the press pad that's oversized for any user. I can adjust this seat back as well depending on where I need to be with my limb length to the ideal position and range of motion. So I can get in here and do a leg press, or I can go lower and simply do a calf press from this position as well. So even down to the padding on the TuffStuff SXT 550, they use commercial level molded pads, and what you kind of mean by that is you can see that the contouring even on here is just attention to detail on the seat and on the back. Every user can get into a really comfortable position and it'll shape to your body almost like a sports seat in a car vehicle on a nice Italian sports car. So the general feel of this, again, when you're pressing on this machine, a lot of cheaper units, you won't get on and just feel the solid feel on the press. There's no hesitation on this machine. It's just absolutely rock solid. You don't feel any vibration in the motion, which is huge on a lot of lower tier pieces of equipment. So the SXT is just simply a great value in terms of what it really offers and really the price point as well. You get more stabilization options and adjustability in terms of how you can tilt the bench, move it forward, adjust the press arm in several positions for back, chest, shoulders, whatever you want to do. It's fairly compact in only about a 6x4 space, not including the leg press. So if you have a tight space but you want everything that this offers, you can still make it happen. The height on this is really taken into account as well. You only need 80 inches here at the max at the top of this cable point, which TuffStuff has, as a long-standing strength manufacturer, always keeps in mind for home use. You don't need a tremendously high ceiling to make this work, whereas a lot of bigger, bulky strength pieces or squat racks or whatever they might be don't necessarily keep that in mind. So you can put this in a basement, a garage, you have a drop ceiling, it's typically not a problem. It'll fit basically in any space. We were really happy here at Gym Source with the TuffStuff SXT 550, a great new design from TuffStuff this past year as a new addition to their strength line, and a great addition as an option for our clients to come in and test out with us.